Hi everyone, welcome back to Coffee, Books, and Rain. I'm Rachel, and I think this is the last one I'm going to record for the day before I go and relax, turn the lights down, light a few candles, and enjoy this really nice thunderstorm that's about to happen outside. But I wanted to record for you guys, get a couple of these videos rendering, and then get them scheduled. So, let us dive into Fog and Fireflies by T.H. Lehnan. And I hope I'm saying that right because the last name is Lehnen, and it looks like Lennon. So, crossing fingers that I'm not too far off. Now, I did originally read this book last year, and I want to say it was around April of last year. April-ish, March-ish, sometime like that. However, I got the opportunity this year. Just recently here in March, I ran across the audiobook being offered in NetGalley, and I don't remember if I did an episode for this book on this channel. So I am going to record this, and then I'm going to go check, and then I may just record another episode, and y'all may get this book twice, or you may not have to scroll back a whole year. You may get a new review where I say something completely different about my new interpretation of this particular book. We shall see. I do think it is very interesting with rereads because sometimes readers get something different out of it the second time, especially when enough time has passed or when enough books have been filling in between. And I think from last April to present day, so let's just say, March, I have probably consumed about 200 books in between, and that is regular, like that's ebooks, that is physical books, that is audiobooks. So that is all of the different ways that I think that I consume books. I have people read them to me. I read them to myself in electronic or paper form. I don't believe I've ever tried reading them off of stone tablets, but that would be really hard to carry around. But let's dive into Fog and Fireflies once again with this new, audiobook that I received from NetGalley, which was very well done. With refreshing echoes of Golden Age fantasy, Fog and Fireflies is a novel that brings together an imaginative world and fantastical cast of characters to explore the difference between growing older and growing up. Why do we grow more scared as we get older? Hundreds of seasons ago, a wizard's war scarred the earth, leaving a malevolent fog blanketing the land and carrying the settlements within it like ships adrift at sea. The phantoms the fog creates are deadly to adults, so children must guard the walls now and care for each other. Ogma watches the fog from the walls of her windmill town. What felt like a game as a child becomes more of a creeping dread with each season as she gets older, because we know better. Ogma's town is attacked. An alien caravaneer who roams the fog in inhuman forms have come to kidnap the children, and Ogma is lost in the fog. She must find hope, find courage in herself, and find her friends. A novel for readers who enjoy rich world building in the style of Hayao Miyazaki, a unique cast of creatures and characters that harkens back to L. Frank Baum and Arthur Rackham, and the bonds of found family akin to the work of Maggie Stiffadir. I cannot say. I apologize. You can check out Goodreads. I am having a very hard time with that last name. But this is the first of 3 planned novels in the world of Fog and Fireflies. It is approximately 400 pages in the Kindle edition. I do believe I had the ebook originally, and this time, again, I did have the audiobook. And I want to say my audiobook was approximately, and let me just check it out real quick, pulling it up. Want to say, nope, not that one. Just want to give you guys a fairly decent, about 12 hours ish of audiobook. So, very good. And I loved diving back into the world because if you have read or watched, I guess I should say watched, Spirited Away, where the, especially, Chihiro, she is separated from her parents. Ultimately, she finds her parents. They turn into pigs, but she's trapped in this dreamlike world where everything's a little bit odd, a little bit different. There's a bathhouse. There's kind of spirits, and she's kind of working there to try to figure out what she can do, and anyway, really, really good. But I do get a similar vibe. It's not the same vibe because there is something about that is so very vibrant in a kind of like heartbreaking way. This one feels a little bit more gray tones. Like, even though I'm reading it or audiobooking it, it doesn't feel as colorfully vibrant as maybe as that world is kind of depicted. Now, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about the author because as I was scrolling, I thought it was really, I liked the way that the about the author talked about him. T.H. Lehnan is an author who believes that young adults and children's literature is simply more honest about the magic in the world. Under Aspen and Thorn Press, he writes young adult fantasy for children who are old souls and old souls who are children at heart. And I really liked that. That made me smile. So, I'm a fan of young adult and middle grade. So, just kind of putting that out there. You will find that on this channel. I won't shy away from those type of reads because I find them just as enjoyable as a good fiction, a good suspense novel, a good historical recounting. I haven't really covered any real like good nonfictions lately, but I just haven't found any that it just really grabbed me that I wanted to talk about. But my review from last April is on Goodreads, and so I am going to talk a little bit about that review as well as kind of my current thoughts. But I still love the idea of kind of like the what if. And so in Agma's world, this magical war has caused these towns to almost float through fog. And if you get separated or if you wander too far away from your town by accident, like you step away from the walls and you now no longer can see the walls of your town, you may not find it again. Even if it was 5 feet away a moment ago, you may not be able to find it again, and you may wander through the fog. Maybe you'll find another one. Maybe you'll get attacked by one of the creatures in the woods. Who knows? But there's monsters lurking in this fog, and the children do seem safer than the adults. But I do kind of still, like, I'm kind of on the fence about the fact that the adults just let the children guard the walls. I get it that the children are supposedly a little more safe from these forest or these fog beings, but the parents or the adults are just so very like scared because I guess they could be attacked and there's no real way to defend them except for these little fireflies that they really don't try to, I don't know, protect the children, so to speak. And I think that's kind of always been one of my bigger issues with this book is the adults, the ones who seem as though they should be the ones protecting the children, are putting the children on the front lines so they're protected in the back. And I just didn't really like that as much. I do feel like in this second read, I understood a little bit better the world I was dropped into, and I think the audiobook also helped that. Just again, rereading my critique from my previous review, I can tell that I was a little bit confused about understanding the world that I had been dropped into, and I can definitely say just with this second read through, this second listen, I guess you could say, I do understand it better. And I think Wheeler's story in the very beginning, his shadow puppet story, really does give a better perspective on kind of what's going on. I don't think I was really grasping that the first time around, but I definitely understood it this second time around that was a very important I guess, story to listen to. And then we get Dunkirk, who does appear out of the fog, and Agma does, she goes down and she kind of rappels down off the wall and goes and retrieves him. And he's pretty injured because it looks as though he's been fighting one of the beings in the fog. And again, I'm not going to try to spoil anything, but they she goes out, she rappels down, she gets him in a harness, she gets him back up the wall, and now they have Dunkirk, who he seems to have come from somewhere else. He doesn't seem to speak the same language, and I don't know. I think it's a pretty good story. I do give it about 4 stars, and I think I gave it 4 stars the last time as well. No, I gave it 5 stars the last time as well. I think I give it 4 stars this time, only because, not that I'm saying it's not flimsy, but I don't know. I don't know. I think 4 stars feels like a better review of the book. Especially with the fact that it took me this second listen to fully understand it a little bit more. I feel as though the a second listen shouldn't be required in order to fully grasp everything. I think I was dropped into it the first time, and I really did dive into it, but it was still a little confusing at first. Now, the world is rich, and even though it feels blanketed in fog, as it reveals itself, is very cool, and I like the way that that is done. And what immediately stands out is just the world building that he does. And I want to say that that's something else that let's see, Renee Godding, she also says the same thing, is that the world building is something that she also notes as well. That again, I already mentioned that these towns that are kind of floating through the fog, and the summary even mentions it, that is really clever. That is kind of like the fog kind of carries them around. So if the fog clears, you may not see the same settlement that you saw last time, because different settlements may be visible to each other. So now you have to trade really fast. And of course, that's when the age appropriate individuals would try to rush to almost trade settlements, because of course you don't want to breed within your settlement for, kind of, you don't want to interbreed, I guess is the best way I can say it. A couple people said that they feel like it is more middle grade rather than YA. I think it's just right there in the middle. I have no issues with it being either one. I think it's got a darkness that I could feel put it in YA a little bit more, but the writing style does feel a little middle grade. But again, either way, I'm totally fine with it. I have no issues going either way, and I don't think it detracts from it at all. And honestly, I can't wait to see what another book might reveal about this story, or again about this world that he's building, because it does resonate with adult readers. And I think by the story that's already been presented and the groundwork that's been laid, we can now expand beyond. And whether he wants to start with this one village and continue to explore it, or maybe do a different village and explore that is fine as well. But I just would love to keep going, because if this is the first of 3 that are planned, then I definitely want to see what else he has planned, because I do feel as though I need more explanation with regards to fleshing out this world. He's already done a great job, but I do want a little more, in my personal opinion. But I'm just going to go ahead and stop there. I had a great time. Again, listening to it was a really good, really good for me, because I definitely missed some things in the first go round that I got to this time that helped me understand it better and set the groundwork for whatever the next book may be in this series. And yeah, I'm excited. Maybe I get to hear about this wizard war again. Maybe I get to hear more about this fog, or snatching people up, or stealing kids, or what have you. But whatever adventures we go on, it's going to be a great adventure. And I think that's all there is that needs to be said for now. But I will talk to you guys later. I will see you guys on the next page. Thank you for joining me on this journey. And I hope you'll like and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you have a great one.